In our next piece, Dustin Turner checked out a unique program offered by the U of O's Architecture and Allied Arts Department. Dustin, is there anything you want to say before we show your report?
Yeah, Eric, I just want to thank everyone in the product design department for being so open with the information they gave me about all the work the students did. It's a really unique program, and I was really excited to do the story.
Well, thanks, Dustin. Now let's take a closer look at what this product design program is all about.
Last winter, 16 design students from the UO's Architecture and Allied Arts Department teamed with Nike representatives along with disabled athletes to develop new prototypes that would enable the athletes to compete at the highest level possible. Headlining the staff were current Nike product designer Wilson Smith, along with a former shoe designer for Nike and Adidas in Bob Lucas. Lucas and his colleagues were discussing the possibilities for the class when the topic of prosthetics came up.
And then we talked a lot about, we got on the topic of the wars winding down in Iraq and all these servicemen coming back that had prosthetics. And they just get issued these prosthetics and then kind of walk around a bit, but they can't do sport. And we thought, well, that's a cool avenue of athletes with disabilities. What can we do?
Lucas, along with Nike product designer Wilson Smith, found 4 local athletes to participate in the class. Joe Rosenbaum, a Paralympian triathlete who lost the use of his right arm in a ski accident, Gabriela Rosales, an ultramarathon runner who was born with an underdeveloped right arm, Brandon Robbins, who is an extreme sport athlete who lost his lower leg in a car accident, and Will Grew, who plays wheelchair rugby for the U.S. Paralympic team. He was paralyzed from the chest down following a motorcycle accident.
And it was just really exciting to see the projects that came out. It was, I really think there was some kind of an extra force going behind their work. I think sometimes empathy can really infuse a lot of passion and drive, and I think that was what motivated a lot of the students.
Design student Jake Fromer may have been motivated by empathy when he devised a prototype for Will that would finally allow him to stand up.
This is a prototype for a standing wheelchair that I made for Will Grew. This is a prototype for a standing wheelchair that would erect the user with a hydraulic lift with these handlebars. So in the seated position, the user would then lift these handlebars, and that would activate the hydraulic lift like the back of a trunk car. And being a quadriplegic, you can't stand up, and there are a lot of problems with not being able to stand up. Human bodies were designed to stand up. And it was kind of an obvious problem area to attack.
Extreme sports athlete Brandon Robbins was having trouble with what he called phantom pains in the area that used to be his lower leg, along with increased vulnerability to cramps along the other side of his leg. Alex Maggie attempted to address these concerns with his prototype.
The biggest opportunity I found was padding out there is really not meeting his specifications for his impact points, and also his electrotherapy was not really in with his day. So I developed riding armor with electrotherapy in it. So these are the Prime Pants Signature Series with a little signature on the side of Brandon. And we were able to talk with Brandon every week, every day if we wanted to, which was awesome. It was completely different from anything else we've done. But I feel like we really affected their lives, which was a big change for the other projects. So we kind of make up users and find a user scenario, but this was a true story.
Smith said this class really embodied the creative and unrelenting spirit of the UO, especially former track coach Bill Bowerman, who was famous for grilling shoes with his wife's waffle iron to make lightweight shoes that still maintain their grip on the track.
He says, if you have a body, you're an athlete. And that really responds, I think, to these athletes, to all of us, that if you are indeed an active person, that you have a right to participate in sport. And it's the whole idea of, can we create things that adapt, that enable a person to participate in sport?
The students' prototypes sparked plenty of discussion within the department about the future of athletic product design. But despite all of the innovative prototypes, from Will's stand-up chair to Brandon's Prime Pants, the students and the instructors both acknowledged that the biggest thing they'll take away from this experience is the massive effect sport has on people's lives.
I've heard the term the healing power of sport. I think there really is a power in participation. It kind of like brings you in a competitive place, into almost a place of like normalcy.
This healing power of sport was definitely on display when Lucas and Smith went to visit some of Will's teammates from the Paralympic rugby squad. Lucas said that when he asked some of the players what sports have done for them, many actually credited sports with saving their lives. For Oregon News, this is Dustin Turner reporting.